Welcome, everybody, to the fastest show on TV, where we talk all things in the sport of drag racing. Tour cars, dragsters, four wheels, two wheels, and all the things in between. It's This Week in Drag Racing with your host, Don O'Neill.
And if you want to ride, we can do it. Take this thing out to the boonies. We can live young, free and wild.
This Week in Drag Racing was a huge one down in Orlando, Florida. Actually, you know what? Back up, scrap that. The entire state of Florida was on fire with drag racing action this past week. West Palm Beach had the pro fuel session testing. John Forrest actually got back in a race car. True story, videos everywhere. Down in Orlando, the Larice family, primarily Ross Larice, went on a twofer and doubled up in Top Dragster and in Super Comp. And Sherman Adcock, who's basically won everything there is to win in drag racing, came up 0 for 2 with outstanding performances in Super Comp and Super Gas. Those two individuals right there, you need to watch them in 2021. But let's get right into it. Orlando, Florida, the World Door Slammer Challenge. I'm a door car guy, and there is nothing cooler than seeing nothing but door cars for 3 days at a racetrack. But what could be sweeter, right? The World Door Slammer Challenge family team, the Quadras, came in and destroyed any type of odds that anybody was laying down to win Pro Stock. Both of them in the finals, taking out KB cars, taking out elite cars. That new Frank Iaconio power and Tommy Lee, I don't know what's going on there. What they did over the winter break, magic beans, something. They're on fire. But was it a fluke? Only way we're going to know is this weekend in Gainesville when we all roll back into the Gator Nationals and kick off the NHRA season. What else is going to go on? Factory Stock Showdown. John Sarabone coming out $10,000 richer. Erica Enders destroying everybody in Comp Eliminator. She picked up $10K. Derek Brown came over from PDRA and decided he was going quarter mile racing with his modern racing Camaro. He picked up the win in Top Sportsman. Brian Oakes, the resident Canadian from North Carolina that hangs out in Florida that will drive anything that you'll give him keys to, he took home the stock super stock deal. And drag racing in 2021 has lit on fire, and it all spread just like wildfire in the great state of Florida. So what are we going to do? We're going to pull in one of those individuals that came into that program in Orlando, Dallas Glenn, NHRA's newest pro stock driver in the KB camp. Going to get a little word from John DeFlorian. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to This Week in Drag Racing. The show is a production of Streetway Marketing and Media and DragRacer.tv. To find out more about us or to find out how you can be a part of the show, call us today. We'd love to hear from you. Now stay tuned for more from This Week in Drag Racing.
This Week in Drag Racing is getting ready to welcome into the pro world a sportsman racer's dream, right? Who in the world would not want to go from, I hit the bottom, I hit the top, I turned some wrenches. You want me to drive a pro stock car? Sure. How about that? Welcome into the show, Dallas Glenn, newest NHRA Pro Stock driver, fresh off of what everyone is going to talk about having a successful weekend at the World Door Slammer Challenge. Dallas, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing? It's nice to be here. I'm excited to be invited onto this.
Well, we are excited to have somebody who just decided to go from being a stock racer to straight into the mid 6 second zone at over 200 miles an hour. And, oh yeah, no big deal. Just, there's an NHRA Pro Stock car. No biggie.
Yeah, it's no biggie. I mean, It's a really big deal. I've been preparing to drive one of these for a long time. There's been a lot of steps, even in the last few years, that I think have really, really helped me this last weekend that I didn't even realize had helped me until I got into one and saw the little things that I noticed the previous years that have actually really helped me out feel comfortable in the car.
Well, Dallas, you talk about taking steps and moving forward and being prepared. You've been at KB for over 8 years, and you've seen Bo Butner, Kyle Koretsky, the Quadras. You've seen the door. People walk in with their helmet in their hand. Here they are driving NHRA Pro Stock. Heck, one of them won a world championship.
That's right.
And now here you are getting that opportunity to get in solid top tier equipment, and you proved it this weekend. So did we go from having minimal expectations to having large expectations after your weekend?
Well, I always have big expectations of myself. Like, obviously, I know the quality of the equipment that I'm in. You know, I've seen it through the years. I work on it. I work on it every day at the shop, and I know that I know that I have the ability. It's just being able to tap into the ability and not make any mistakes and just stay focused and keep the drive. So I've always had high expectations of myself. So I guess I'm just kind of following right where I want to be right now.
Well, you had a great weekend, right? We qualified 655, and then you went lower on Sunday during eliminations, and your reaction times, they weren't anything to just snub your nose at.
Yeah, I was when I got back from the second round, I believe I was 18. I was telling my dad, he came and picked me up. I'm like, yeah, I missed it. What was I? And he goes, oh, you're 18. I'm like, yeah, I was set up a little better than that. I was really wanting to get it on Greg, and it felt like a little quicker tree, and I wasn't quite ready for it. I missed it a little bit, but it's you know, my first hit in the car, I was 31 red, and a lot of people were looking like, yeah, you know, he just anticipated it. And I'm like, I don't feel like I anticipated that. And I think it's just it's one of the things going back through the years. We have a practice tree simulator that's basically half of a cage, and it's got a clutch and everything in it. And I've hit it, I don't know how many hundreds of times, and just found the way that was most comfortable for me and seemed to be the quickest. And I think it definitely showed. I went up there, and on my third run, I was 34 red, and that's when we had to start making some big changes to the car to try to get back to the green side. Ended up having to change several things about how I let go of the pedal.
Well, you talked about your dad already. Let's talk about family. How big of a shove in support has your family been in this process, right? This career path. You moved from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast, and here you are. Tell us about your family support.
Oh, my family has been absolutely huge. I mean, they've just been supporting me from all steps of the pretty much everything. Sadie especially, you know, she does all my PR and everything, and I really, you know, can't thank my wife enough. She is probably the best PR gal that anybody could ever ask for. I mean, as well as a wife as well. But my parents, my family, everybody's just been hugely supportive. Even what I call the family at KB Racing, everybody has just been asking for years, you know, when's going to be your chance to get in the car? And you know, it's just when the timing's right and a few of the sponsors step up and say, hey, you know, let's make it happen. And the timing was right this year, and everything kind of fell into place rather quickly. It was really surprising.
Well, let's jump right into that one as well. The sponsor aspect of it. It was, you know, when you get a new driver and you come into the pro classes, there's always the whispers. Everybody's whispering, right? What sponsors, what equipment, where. Yours just completely blindsided everybody. There was no whispers of anything. How quickly did this opportunity come together? That being said, we all knew Jason was stepping away, Bo was stepping away, and we knew there was Greg and Kyle. How quickly did this happen?
Well, basically, it was right about Vegas. The last year was the very last race of the year. I was just talking with Shane Thompson from Silver State HVAC and Refrigeration. I've been good friends with him for a lot of years. I've raced his cars in a lot of big money bracket races, and had a really fun time with him. And I was just mentioning, I was like, how much do you think it is to sponsor one of these? Just kind of making small talk. And he goes, yeah, I bet it's quite a bit, but I'd put up the money for a couple races if you were driving. And that was like, well, okay. So I just started kind of hitting the phones and got in touch with Dan Provost at Rad Torque. And he sounded right. He really interested right from the start. He wanted me to make up a proposal. I sent up a proposal within a couple days. And then basically I'd say within a week of having that talk with Shane, Dan said, hey, let's sign up for 4 races. And I was like, well, okay. And that's when I immediately started making phone calls to Bottom Sign. They did the wrap for me. I got all the logos and everything and just started kind of putting it all together, and kind of surprisingly somehow kept it under wraps for a couple months. I told family and friends and stuff like that, but it actually kept it pretty quiet until we were ready to announce it.
So you've gotten the support. We've got the equipment. We got the family behind us. We got sponsors. What's our goal?
Well, obviously, my goal right now is to just go out, have fun. Right now, I just want to kind of what Sadie called dipping a toe in. I wanted to cap it at 4 races for NHRA, unless I got seriously you get on and sponsorships come in and they want to do a full season, and absolutely let's go for it. But stopping at 4 NHRA races will keep me eligible for Rookie of the Year for next year. So if I can just kind of get as he said, dip a toe in, see how it feels, get some experience, we'll gather everything up, gather ourselves up, and get ready for a full run at it. Obviously, my goal for right now is to just go out, make clean runs, have fun, do my job, make sure, learn as much as I can, and just get more comfortable in the car. And as long as I do that, win or lose, I'm happy. As long as I hit my shifts, keep it in the groove, cut a good light, I can't complain about anything.
So how much feedback are you getting after the runs in Orlando? There were some photos of, you in the door with Jason Line last year. This year, Jason Line's in the door with you. There was a little bit of chatter on one of the live streams about you might have made Greg stage first in your elimination round. So what is it back there in the trailer that's going on? Because Greg's an intense guy, right? He's intense. What's going on back there? Do we get a live?
The guys online, though. No, I did not at all make Greg stage first. I'm just new, and I'm taking my time, and I'm gonna get in whether they're in or not. I'm gonna take my amount of time, and it just happened that I took a little longer than Greg. He's made thousands of runs, and I've made 12. So. It takes me a little bit longer. Hold on. Let's define what 12 runs is, because I'm thinking that there's not a KB car in the last 5 years that's went down the racetrack that didn't have tires broke in by you doing burnouts over in Mooresville. So where's the line in what's considered a run? Doing a burnout and staging a Pro Stock car, staying in the lane, shifting. We can add that in there into the experience, but you're not a rookie. Yeah, well, being in the Pro Stock car against somebody, when I'm over there doing burnouts, it's our burnout car, it's Pro Stock chassis, tubs, windshield, no body. It only makes 700 horse, half as much as a Pro Stock engine, still has the 5-speed Liberty in it. So it kind of gives you just the feel of, clutch, backing, shifting in the burnout, that kind of stuff. But it's really quite a bit harder to drive a real Pro Stock car. Burnout car, we don't stage or anything like that. I'll launch it every now and then. run it through third gear. But I'm only going to not even the 330 on that. Trying to do that in a pro stock car and hit your shifts on time and keep it in the groove, and just remembering all the little stuff, getting the engine shut off on time, clutching it, the chutes. There's a lot to it that actually kind of surprised me. I mean, I was telling people after the first few runs, I said, there's more stuff going on right at the finish line than there is when you leave the starting line. It's actually pretty surprising.
Well, all right. So not going to keep you long because we know you got to get ready for Gainesville. However, grade your weekend. Give your own grade. What would you give yourself on the report card for your first weekend in an NHRA Pro Stock car?
I'm going to give it a solid A. I mean, I was successful in getting my license, which was huge because that allowed me to enter into Gainesville. I got really comfortable in the car. I feel like when I go up there now, I don't feel nervous about screwing something up. I can just go there, be on autopilot, do my thing. And I felt like I was pretty decent. Like I was saying, I did feel like I missed it a little bit against Greg. I thought I was later than that, but I feel like they're going to be I'm going to be coming for them in Gainesville. I'm definitely going to give it my all. I definitely have a drive to prove myself and show that I deserve to be here. And yeah, all the sponsors are really happy with the weekend. We send a lot of pictures and videos and updates to the Rad Torque people. They even changed the cover page of their Facebook page to a picture of the car, which is amazing. And then the Silver State guys have just been real supportive and really happy and enjoying the updates, and they're really looking forward to heading out to Vegas. And so far, everything's been great. Everybody's real happy, and Greg and everybody at the shop, and Jason, they have absolutely no complaints. They have no problem with me getting back into the car and don't feel nervous about it, which is a good thing. The only rule that they've told me so far is I'm not allowed to look over. They said, you're a bracket guy. I know you're going to look over. Don't look over. That was Jason said in his first race. He looked over, and his first race didn't go well. So he said they made me put blinders on my helmet for minimum 2 races, and I'm not allowed to take it off until after that. So, which I've told him before, I don't feel like I'm quite comfortable to look over. There's a lot of stuff that I want to make sure, especially Orlando was a short shutdown. So I want to make sure I got the chutes out on time, get the engine off, get it clutched, get on the brakes. And I'm not ready to look over. Greg, he can watch me in between every shift. And it's like, I didn't even know he was over there because, you can't hear the other car in there, which was surprising to me. These things are pretty loud, but you can't hear anything in there. So but come Gainesville, I'm confident. I feel like we're making better runs with the car, and I'm getting more comfortable with the clutch pedal and where to put my foot and everything. And I feel like they're gonna know we're there.
Well, the 2021 NHRA Pro Stock season got off to an incredible, crazy, out-of-control start at the World Door Slammer Challenge, and Dallas, you were part of it. Tell everybody where they need to follow along in the social media world as you conquer the NHRA series in 2021.
Well, my amazing PR wife set up an Instagram account because I am fairly social media illiterate. But she did also make a Facebook page for me, an athlete page, Dallas Glenn. I believe it's dglenn660. You go there, follow. We have many updates and pictures that get put on there every run. And that's going to be the place to catch up on all the action.
Well, Dallas, we're going to be sitting back here watching you tear up the 1320, hit those shift points on time, and who knows, Gainesville has a tendency to offer up first-time winners in Pro Stock. Think you might have a chance. You might be the outside dark horse. So good luck to you this weekend, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you, and I appreciate being on the show. And I don't know if anybody's ever gone and looked at what Rad Torque System does. They have some really cool torque wrench guns. The battery operated, electric, and pneumatic. They make some really cool products if you check them out.
Sounds like somebody has already caught on to the whole PR piece of the marketing opportunities for NHRA Pro Stock. Dallas Glenn, take care. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to This Week in Drag Racing. The show is a production of Streetway Marketing and Media and DragRacer.tv. To find out more about us, or to find out how you can be a part of the show, call us today. We'd love to hear from you. Now stay tuned for more from This Week in Drag Racing.
A couple weeks ago, we had an opportunity to spend some time with John DeFlorian, big chief guru at Jerry Haas Race Cars. We had so much material from John because of all of his years of experience. We just couldn't use it all. But there was one question that we asked him that he gave a pretty blunt answer. And it's, what separates a Haas car from everyone else? Here's his response.
Well, that's actually a really good question. I mentioned earlier, we work really hard, every day at trying to push this product forward. And one of the things that we were told many, many years ago by a lot of the really top-notch crew chiefs out there, and I'll use their words. They said that the thing that really separates the Haas car from the others that were out there and are out there was that the tuning window was so much larger on a Haas car. And what that meant was these guys could make a kind of a bad run and still get down the racetrack and get the data they needed to be able to go back and make a better run. And when you have that large tuning window, that gives that crew chief that opportunity to be able to do that. And some of the other competitors' cars, the tuning window was much smaller. So if they didn't get down the racetrack and shook the tires or whatever problem they had, they didn't get anything. So they're still trying to get data. So they all said that was a big thing for them. And I would agree that tuning window is really wide on a Haas car and really allows for you to make a run down the track and get the data you need to get to, hopefully improve on the next runs and thereafter. We work so hard at trying to always push the product further forward then, because, if somebody does kind of copy our stuff, well, then they should at that point be on the same playing field as we are. So that means that we just got to work harder and come up with the next new thing, which is exactly what we do. We're always looking for ways to improve the car and make the cars better and faster. And that's part of the reason why right there. And, and the thing of it is that where the cars are today, back, years ago, you could make changes that were significant, big. Well, now you're literally making changes for a few thousandths, especially when you look at the NHRA Pro Stock car. Right. So if you can give a guy, 4, 5, 6 thousandths, I mean, they're all over that. So, but it becomes much more difficult, though, to try to give them that because these things are so refined. So the changes you make, you have to feel, 100% confident that it's going to do what you're wanting to do. We've got some ideas and have been talking about for a long time the things that we're going to do that we are implementing to make these cars a little bit better to try to move ahead. And it's not going to be a deal where you go out and you pick up a tenth. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about going out and picking up thousandths or hundredths or something. And way those guys running in 500 inch, a 100th is huge. You could be number 1 qualifier, or you could be number 9 or 10 qualifier. We had and still have, in my viewpoint, a very good car, if not the best car, but most certainly I think the best car that's out there and available. The cars are really good, but it'll be interesting to see what this year brings. I mean, a little concerning because you got a number of guys that are stepping away. So you're going to have some new faces, hopefully enough new faces, but it'll be interesting to see what happens, as far as how the KD guys run and, how Freeman runs. And then, the other guys that are out there, I mean, obviously McGaheys are always, pretty good competitors. And so it should be an interesting year. It should be a lot of fun to keep an eye on and watch, but we're going to keep moving forward and try to, make something a little bit better than what we got right now and hopefully a little faster and keep these guys in our corner.
Thanks for tuning in to This Week in Drag Racing. The show is a production of Streetway Marketing and Media and DragRacer.tv. To find out more about us, or to find out how you can be a part of the show, call us today. We'd love to hear from you. Now stay tuned for more from This Week in Drag Racing.
This Week in Drag Racing, talking with Dallas Glenn just energizes the ability for you to be committed to your dreams. Dallas Glenn, kid from the West Coast, bracket racer, class racer for NHRA, said, hey, I'd really like to work on a race car, and went to work for KB Racing 8 years ago. Gave up holding onto a helmet and a steering wheel full time to turn wrenches on NHRA Pro Stock cars. Don't know if he knew 8 years ago that the door would open for him to actually climb in an NHRA Pro Stock car and be in full-fledged competition. Fast forward 8 years, and it did. He is making the most of the opportunity that's been provided to him. You could hear his ability to be able to get into a car was given to him by sponsors, by his family support, people that believe in him. Committing to a company for 8 years in the hopes that you might fulfill your dream and drive an NHRA Pro Stock car, or just be able to compete on any level. That level of commitment is not something that's seen very often in today's society. Dreams do come true. We ask you, chase yours with us in the world of motorsports. We look forward to seeing you at the racetrack very soon. See you next week.